Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks so much for joining us here on KXAN Live. I'm Will Dupree, coming to you from the KXAN Live studio. Governor Greg Abbott is holding a news conference in Elgin, which was a community devastated by a tornado that hit on Monday. Let's listen in as the governor and some local officials share the latest information about the storm response there in Bastrop County.
EMC Chief Chris Noble, Bastrop County EMC Christine Fowles, Assistant Bastrop County EMC James Aldket, DPS Sergeant Zachary Atchison, and he would be the representative, if you would, the face of all of the DPS officers who have rushed to the scene to assist in this process, as well as County Commissioner Snowden. And we also have with us State Representative Syrier with us. We're here to make clear to the leaders of Bastrop County and Elgin that the state of Texas stands shoulder to shoulder with them in their recovery. Now, we all have the same goal, and that is to make sure that this community is going to be able to recover and rebuild as quickly as possible. There's a lot to be done. As I understand it, there were more than 100 homes affected by the tornado. 19 of those homes were destroyed. So there's going to be some people without a home for a period of time. A point of good news right now is that there is no one in need of shelter. Most of the people without homes or with damaged homes or with family members or friends, there is, my understanding, one person and or one family unit that is staying in a hotel room. Those numbers can shift and alter as time goes along. The point, however, is that all the people who have been affected by the storm have all of their immediate needs being met right now. But we as a state and we as a county and local community, we're going to be pedal to the metal to get this done as quickly as possible, so there will be restoration to people's lives as quickly as possible. That said, the most important thing that came out of the storm that affected the Elgin area is the simple fact that no life was lost. Property damage is serious, and it can be frustrating and difficult and time-consuming for people to overcome property damage. But if you lose your life, you can't overcome anything. And so I am so incredibly proud of the way that people took safety measures into place to save their lives. And I do want to also recognize the media for the role they played in that. I saw myself on watching television, the early warnings that were provided to this community in advance. Moments before the tornado was going to hit here, people in this Elgin area were told to take shelter. I don't know how many people's lives were saved because of that, but I have no doubt there are people alive today or healthy today because they were able to get warnings from the media and heeded those warnings, and their lives are saved. I just returned from Sherman, Texas, in Grayson County, which is the one area where the only fatality that occurred in the entire state of Texas after all of these tornadoes was a woman in Sherman. Our prayers are with her and her family for that loss. Any loss of life is a tragedy, but to imagine the ferocity of the storms that we saw taking place coming across I-35 and Highway 45 with traffic going across it at the time, seeing people be able to make it through a tornado and hurricane force winds without losing their life through an episode like that is nothing short of stunning. One thing that we do with the Texas Division of Emergency Management is we work with local communities like this in the aftermath of storms to work with them on gathering all damage data so we can provide that data to FEMA. If the data adds up to a certain amount, FEMA will classify it as a federal declared disaster, and it will entitle local communities like Elgin, like Bastrop County to be able to access resources. As a result, one thing that we need from people across the entire Bastrop County area, across all of Elgin, is to provide information about any damages that you and your property have sustained. One way to provide that information is at a website. That website is damage.tdem.gov. damage.texas.gov. That's damage.tdem.texas.gov. I cannot overemphasize the importance of everybody getting that information, everybody going to that website, everybody putting data into that website so that we can begin aggregating the total amount of damages sustained here and elsewhere in the state, because whether or not the state is going to qualify for FEMA reimbursement and FEMA financial support depends upon the aggregation of all of the damages sustained across the entire state of Texas because of all of these tornadoes. I know from my visit in the meeting just before coming out here that an issue that the Elgin area faces is debris. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of debris in the aftermath of a storm like this, and the state will be working with Elgin, with Bastrop County to make sure that they're going to be able to address their needs as it concerns debris. One thing that accelerates that is the disaster declaration that I've made. What this does is it accelerates timetables, it removes obstacles such as rules and regulations that would hinder their ability to make that happen more quickly. This is the disaster declaration that I have issued for 16 counties across the state of Texas that were affected by tornadoes. It includes Bastrop, Cass, Cook, Grayson, Guadalupe, Houston, Jack, Madison, Marion, Montague, Nacogdoches, Panola, Rusk, Upshur, Williamson, and Wise are all covered by this disaster declaration. If we learn that there are other counties that have sustained damages that are not on this current disaster declaration, this will be amended to include those other counties. But this is intended to provide resources as well as to accelerate the process to help Bastrop County and Elgin and all the other communities in Bastrop County recover from this storm more quickly. Bottom line is this. We want to be with you every step of the way, knowing the difficulties that you're going through right now. We're here to help to make the repair process, the restoration process, move as swiftly as it possibly can. A leader in that effort is your county judge, to whom I will turn it over now.
Thank you, Governor. I am County Judge Paul Poppy, and you can call me Pape if you want to, Governor. You can call me whatever you want. But welcome back to Bastrop County. You've been here with us before when we've had disasters, many times, and we're so thankful that you took the time to come back today. We are in the recovery business together with the state of Texas, and I can tell you on the night of this tornado, we had representatives from TDEM and from your own office, Governor, out here on site as soon as the wind was passed, and they began immediately to help us to respond, to help people recover, to help people find safety, to find shelter, to find food and water, and all of that works together because of the great work that the state of Texas does. And you've traveled the state already after this disaster, and you've got a couple more stops to make, I think, even today, right? So we thank you for coming to Elgin and helping us here. If you forgot that website the Governor gave you, let me give you a simple phone number that you can call for anything regarding this disaster. It's the Bastrop County Hotline. It's 512-303-4300. That's 303-4300. If you need information, if you need that link, if you need to know where resources might be or how to get help, call that hotline number and we will get the resources to you that you need. And whether it be cleaning up debris or whether it be a long-term stay need, call that hotline. We appreciate that. Governor, I just can't say enough about how the partnership is such a blessing to Bastrop County. And it means a lot to Elgin, to the community of Elgin, for you to come here and bring this proclamation to us. This time I wanted to turn it over to Mayor Ramirez of Elgin and let him say a few words.
Thank you, Governor, Judge, Chief. I appreciate all of you being here in Elgin today. I just quickly want to make 2 points for Elgin, and that is the first point I want to talk about is all of you in Elgin that were affected by this storm. I want you to reach out and ask for help. The help is out there. It's help. The help is out there from Elgin. The help is out there from the county and from the state. For instance, we had 4 families that we met just 15 minutes ago that all had houses either destroyed or major damage, and we've already started hooking them up with help. So that's what I want you guys to do. Y le voy a decir a la gente de Elgin, si te pegó el tornado, pregunta por ayuda, porque la ayuda está ahí. Okay. El número, si quieres hablar, es 512-303-4300. Thank you. Now, the second thing I want to hit is the fact that when I came into this fire department on the night of the storm, and we went to the command center, I was so blessed, and the judge just said it, I was so blessed to see all the groups that were here. Not only did we have Fire Chief Martinez and Police Chief Noble, all your officers, sir, all your firefighters. Not only did we have the Elgin first responders, but we had the Texas Department of Public Safety and the state police. That night, during the middle of the storm, they went out and did welfare checks on the hardest hit roads. So if you can imagine going out on the night of the storms when it was still storming, our troopers and state police did that. We had the Texas Department of Emergency Management here. They were instrumental in getting things done and getting contacts and getting phone calls made. And without them, and Bruce from TDM and Brent Weaver, I'm going to call you out, Brent. Your passion and your tenacity is much appreciated. So I don't know where you are, Brent. I think you're back here somewhere, but understand that we here appreciate it. Our Bastrop County Judge, thank you for everything that you did to provide Elgin with the services that you provided, and our Bastrop County Office of Emergency Management. Christina and James and Jim and Peter, you guys were literally lifesavers. So with that, Governor, I'm going to pass it back to you. But Elgin, ask for help. We have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And now the Chief of the Texas Division of Emergency Management, NIMKID.
Mayor, thank you for your kind words. It means a lot to us and the men and women that have been out there working. I also want to echo the governor and thank the media. 24/7, 365, you're out there pushing that message, and it was a life-saving message. Thank you for that. We will continue with the recovery process. We will work hand in glove with the cities and the counties of the state that are impacted. First and foremost, if you have insurance and your home or business was damaged, I need you to file an insurance claim. I need you to check with your insurance agent and start that process. After that, we'll be working with our city and county officials to do the damage assessments. The federal thresholds for our state are roughly $50 million of uninsured loss to public infrastructure and government buildings. And as an easy thumb rule, I need about 800 homes major damage or destroyed without insurance before we qualify for the federal assistance. So that's just a rough thumb rule on the IA side. We're gathering those numbers together. We have a lot of volunteers that are out there. And as the gentleman to my left have said, there are literally thousands of volunteers waiting to come in and help. So if you need help, please reach out and ask.
Thank you very much. We'll be happy to take a few questions. You say it is not? It is not. Correct. That's correct. Low-interest loans, things like that? Well, again, things like the low-interest loans, those will depend upon whether or not there's qualification under FEMA. There are some other strategies that may be possible from TDM that I'll let NIMKID tell you about. But most of the robust resources that provide direct assistance to individuals is based upon whether or not the state is going to qualify for individual assistance, why it is so important for people to go fill out that information so we can aggregate the numbers so that we do qualify. That said, I'll let Chief Kidd tell you more about it.
And Rudy, thanks for the question. It gives us an opportunity to re-explain the process again. The damage assessments are so critical, but as you've heard from the judge and the mayor, the volunteer organizations and faith-based organizations that come in after every disaster to help with cleanup and rebuild are already here and they're already working. That is the prime spot for disaster recovery for households in Texas. After that, we do our damage assessments that we've already started working on. If we aggregate the numbers and meet the federal threshold, then we will apply for FEMA assistance, and that would be individual assistance to households and families. Until we get those numbers, the Small Business Administration for the SBA low-interest loans to businesses and homes will not be turned on until we make the determination of whether it qualifies for FEMA assistance or not. It's just the way the federal rules work. The immediate need is to go right back to the telephone number that the judge and the mayor gave and have them register what their immediate needs are so that we can connect resources to those needs.
Wait, let me elaborate on that, because a need, some people are going to have, all their clothes got blown away. All their other supplies got blown away. We were talking in there earlier, I can't remember if it was you or somebody else.
Christina was talking about.
Christina, why don't you come up and is she?
Where's Christine?
We
have resources available.
Why don't you
people
tell
who
them
need-
what you were telling us and the other resources that are available, because people do have immediate needs right now, and there are ways to address those needs right now that she'll be able to explain to you.
So again, Rudy, the phone number is imperative. The 303-4300, 512-303-4300. Anybody can contact that number. Any needs they have, we'll be able to take care of them, be it clothing, be it small appliances. If they need some furniture, we'll be able to start helping them with that. There are some local places here, particularly the Lions Club, that is collecting some donations. The way we have worked with donations in Bastrop County is that the donations actually go to our, we work with 3 thrift stores. The donations go to the thrift stores, and from there, folks can get a voucher to go shopping at the thrift stores if they were affected by this disaster. So we're prepared to take care of any need there is that's going to come up. All you need to do is reach out.
Call us.
I'm Christine Files, I'm the Emergency Management Coordinator here in Bastrop County.
So contrary to what I said at the very beginning, I was wrong when I said no vouchers. There are vouchers, just available through a different way. The FEMA vouchers will come later if we do qualify.
Oh yeah, Governor, if we don't qualify for federal aid, what do the next steps look like for helping those with uninsured homes? We've had viewers asking why the state doesn't tap into the rainy day fund, so if you could explain that process if we don't get any money for this.
Well, there's a lot of potential avenues to go down to look at, and again, I'm going to have NIMKID weigh in on that. But there are so many organizations that work together. I'm going to give you a quick, easy example of what we have dealt with in the past, and that is Hurricane Harvey. And we saw in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, for people who did not qualify, there's all of these volunteer organizations that come together, and they can rebuild homes in a matter of days. And we will be tapping into those volunteer organizations, get them here in Elgin and help rebuild homes here, just like they did along the coastline in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. But I'll have Chief Kidd add more to that.
Thank you, Governor. And I know it's a question, why don't we just tap into the rainy day fund? Those are the words that you just used. And the truth of the matter is, there is no point in the legislature that puts money into any of our budgets in order to be able to do that. One of the reasons I think they don't is because the volunteer and faith-based organizations respond so quickly and are able to get out there and help those that are in need. I mean, literally, I cannot overstate this. We have thousands of volunteers waiting to come and assist.
Nearby, we did have the storms that hit East Williamson County, affected the towns of Hutto, Taylor, Granger, and the community of Circleville. I know you had a press conference with Williamson County Judge Bill Gordell on Monday. I just wanted to know if there's anything new to report on those storms and recovery efforts there in East Williamson County.
So yeah, on the night of the storms, I was with the county judge, and we went over the areas that you talked about, all the areas in Williamson County, and they were making progress at the time. They have continued to make progress, to get power back on, to get lives restored, to get neighborhoods cleaned up, and to get the community back in order. And so I'm extraordinarily proud of the swift action taken by leaders both in Williamson County, but also the cities in Williamson County that acted so swiftly. They're doing a great job to get people restored as quickly as possible.
We met a homeowner who is underinsured, and I'm sure that's a pretty common problem. Does that help meet the requirements we have to meet, or do you simply have to be uninsured?
It can meet the requirements to be underinsured. It's just in the disaster case management process, when we figure out what that determination is, the quick dividing line is un or underinsured, as you just said. It's easy to see which homes don't have an insurance policy altogether, but it takes days or weeks sometimes to people to bring their policy forward and their adjuster to tell what is insured. So that process is a little slower in order to make happen.
Sure. Our first responders have been tasked. We have individuals in Central Texas right now, in West Texas, working wildfires. They've been all over the place. They were all over the place Monday. What's your response? What's your reaction as you go across the state, meeting with these folks and what they're doing and what they continue to do?
One of the things that gives me more pride about our state than anything else is our first responders. But before these tornadoes struck, I was up in other counties across the state of Texas dealing with wildfires. Then at the same time these tornadoes struck, we had a blizzard going on, as well as fires going on, as well as hail going on, as well as flooding going on, as well as hurricane winds going on. And everyone always asks me the same thing: how are you going to have enough personnel resources to be able to deal with all this? And the answer very simply is we're Texas. And we saw when we were dealing with the fires, there were firefighters that were coming in from dozens of other counties across the entire state of Texas. Texans live to respond to dangers like this. They live to respond and help their fellow Texans. It's times like this, times like Hurricane Harvey, when Texans step up and do more than ever before. We're seeing the exact same thing right now. Yes, we have a lot of storms going on, but even more, yes, we have the people, the personnel, the commitment and the capability to respond to all of it.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Sir.
Thank you, guys.
It means a lot.
We're
It
here.
means a lot.
Not just
For you to
today,
be here.
but all the way through.
We know.
Thank you for sticking with us here on KXAN Live. Will Dupree, back in the KXAN Live studio. A news conference that Governor Greg Abbott just called is wrapping up there in Elgin, one of the communities across the state hit by devastating tornadoes on Monday. The governor shared just a few moments ago that 100 homes have been at least damaged by the tornado there in Elgin. 19 of those homes have been outright destroyed. That information just being shared a few moments ago again. The governor and other state officials, as well as local leaders there, are asking people to report damage. And this is crucial in order to be able to perhaps get federal assistance for some of the storm victims, as well as businesses there affected by the storm. So they're asking people to report damage to this website right here. It is the Texas Division of Emergency Management. The website is damage.tdem.texas.gov. Additionally, if you live there in Bastrop County in Elgin and you need assistance, county leaders and city leaders there are asking people to contact this number. It's the Bastrop County hotline. The number is 512-303-4300. Again, that is 512-303-4300. What they said is that people who are in need of things like clothing or appliances or even furniture after their houses have been destroyed or damaged badly, you can call this number to be able to access resources and get connected with those through it. So we're going to put this on the screen there for just a little while longer so that anyone who lives in that area can write down the number and be sure to pass it along to anyone who may need it in the Elgin area. We thank you all again for joining us on our stream. I'm Will Dupree, coming to you from the KXAN Live studio. Thanks again for watching. We will see you back here at another time. Other reports and information about ways to help are available on our website, kxan.com. You can access all of our reporting about Monday's storms as well on the KXAN News app on your smartphone. Please download that if you haven't done so already. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you again. Please stay safe and healthy out there, and take care.